A week ago, I put out a community post stating my plans to do another community discussion video. The last one before Tomodachi Life Living the Dreams release. So I asked to get y'all's submissions. I asked for y'all to comment what you still wanted to say about the upcoming game, what questions y'all still have, and what ideas you may have to make the game even better. And y'all supplied. There's, 184 comments? Oh boy, looks like we're gonna be here for a hot minute. Thank you all so much for joining in. I always find it to be so much fun to get the whole community involved and it all come together. I love to see the whole Tomodachi Life's community's creativity and thought. You are all so amazing, and let's just dig into this. I'm just gonna sort these by shortest to longest comments for simplicity. Let's go. Super A Gaming 064 said, I'm so excited, only 53 days left. That's actually really great that they added that comment ahead of time. They even planned for it. Because yes, today, the day that this video releases, we only have 53 days left till the release of Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. Parker Laidlaw. By the way, I hope I get you guys' names right, but if I mess them up, please forgive me. Says, when is the game coming out? And that would be April 16th, 2026, my dude. X2 Buller, a long friend of the channel, says, can we talk about the fact that Angie in the direct deserves so much better? And oh my gosh, I know! She introduces the two, then falls for the person, and then she's denied after just getting over another breakup. Oh! And in order to get over this emotional time, she spends more time with her plushie. Julian Rodriguez Conde 7629 says, I want the amiibos can be used in this game, like for clothes or items. It would be really nice if we could get a lot of amiibo support where all the amiibos gave us like the costumes of that person's game or something of the sort. I would love to get Isabel's outfit for my Isabel me, Tom Nook's outfit for my Tom Nook me, and the sort. Pond of Duck Man, cute name, says, I'm hoping there will be more places to interact with them than in the direct. I mean, keep in mind, they only showed us like a couple glimpses of like really huge built up islands. We'll have the time to create our islands exactly how we want. And it's clear that there's gonna be a lot of items that the Miis will be able to interact with outside. So I really do see that happening for sure. Coffee Beans 727 says, I want married Miis to be able to do more stuff besides just having babies. I mean, yeah, I still want to see my Miis go out on dates and hang out with each other, and oh my gosh, imagine being able to hang out with their friends who had babies and all get like family gatherings. I'm sure there's more to do than just making me babies. Soul M2S says, please let the concert hall be back. Yeah, I think that's so far my biggest concern is they have not shown us the concert hall. Without the confirmation of it, it's just like, come on Nintendo, please say it's still there. Amber's Dragon says, I wonder if you can use touchscreen for the game and or mouse controls. That's such a good point because I feel like so far they've just shown us how they're using, the joysticks and the buttons on the regular Switch. Like, even when you watch things, it like automatically clicks over into the next, so clearly they're not using the mouse or the touchscreen. So it'll be interesting to see if those are still like options for us to use at least. Jacob Anderson's 30 said, I would love to see a new and improved concert hall and what they will do better for it. Yeah, I always kind of like thought the upgrade for concert hall would be to go from just singing to also doing singing and choreography or like making plays or things like that. But honestly, not even seeing it, I just hope it's added in. That guy Robbie14 says, do you think that the inability to share Miis will have an impact on the success or vitality of the game? I think any impact that has is going to be minor. I mean, even just looking at the reaction of people, a lot of people are like, this freaking sucks, but many people also are like, I understand it because, well, the internet is full of some concerning stuff. It is just really, I don't know, it's policing something before there's even an issue. And to some extent I get it, but to others, it just kind of sucks. But ultimately, I think that impact is going to be pretty minor. Just a little bit of irritation on all of our part. Luke 3T2G says, is the game going to be Switch 2 compatible? Now, they did confirm it is playable on the Switch 2. Now, if it'll have that 60 frames per second 4K visuals like you're hoping for, I'm not sure. Now, I could see them adding that in a Switch 2 upgrade, similar to Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 upgrade, which just added in, the better visuals and the ability to use the Switch 2's features, that more multiplayer and the mouse controls items being added in. Now, I would not complain if they were just like, here, you want to pay an extra $5 and get these very minor extra Switch 2 abilities. But ultimately, who knows? It would be nice, especially because if they go ahead and upgrade the visuals now, it'll be like future-proofed and ready for the next game, which is like way ahead of, I'm one of those people that looks way ahead. Don't worry about it. Allison Mead 4505 says, I can't wait anymore. I want the game to come out already. I know. I totally get it. But, I mean, I've been making videos ever since the Direct, and just watching the countdown go for the 70-somethings to now the 50-somethings. In a couple days, we're gonna make it down to the 40-somethings. Like, time is moving. Time is moving. We'll get there. Me 2014 said, can I make Deltarune maps? I have yet to play that game. But hey, you can make your island to be basically whatever you want. Like, we have full customization tools, so whatever kind of map you want your island to look like, I'm pretty sure you can do it. Ego's World, Go World 5373 says, you called it after so many years. Yeah. I think, okay, so I've been working on this YouTube channel since 2019. Crazy. And one of my first few videos, it was actually the first video of mine that actually hit 1,000 views. It's past that now, but one of my first few videos was hoping for Tomodachi Life on the Switch. That was like, what, 5 years now? Gosh, no, 6? It was a long time ago. And here we are. We've almost made it. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream for the Switch is real. Julie, said, I like that you have pets, but I don't like that they are 2D. I agree. Honestly, I need them to show us more of like what pets will be, because so far it's looking like the only pets we can have are the ones we personally custom design with the palette house, and I want legitimate 3D pets. And pets, not pet vouchers, please. Gabriel JU5PT says, I have the theory that this poster will be reused for the soundtrack album cover. Okay. Trey Money 1019, also cute. My son's name is Trey. Said, this is more of a personal question. Does your partner also like Tomodachi Life? And if so, plan to share an island? So he has played Tomodachi Life for the 3DS a little bit, but he never really got fully into it. Meanwhile, I really like, we just have the one game, so I was like, all right, if you're not gonna play it enough, I'm restarting your island and making mine. But this time around, he does plan to get Tomodachi Life Living the Dream for his Switch. However, he is not one to like to get spoiled ahead of time. So while I'm over here making these deep dive analysis videos where I'm like, oh my goodness, and over here in the very tiny corner, you can see a me sleeping, and this icon means he's like, okay, can we not reveal every little detail? So I'm pretty sure I've spoiled a lot for him, but he is still excited to play this new game. He also requested the day off, the day of launch, so that I can focus completely on this while he takes care of our son, so yay! Trey Money 1019 again said, you can add one new random feature to the game. What will you add? Well, if I were going off of what we have so far, it would be to bring the concert hall in, but instead do the Me Movies idea that I had way back in the day, back before the game was even announced, where you're actually making whole Me movies for you to watch, where you're choosing what they say, the choreography, all of these actions, and like production. But I know that's a big ask. Graham Hoosed said, can you put them on your game save? I'm going to assume you're talking about something about saving the game and autosave. I do believe that there should be autosave just like in most games nowadays. Saving Mies. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can use the Mies that are already saved to your Switch if that is what you're asking. Pluck the Human said, I hope we can be living the dream. And yes, we will definitely be living the dream. Rad Loves BKDK said, pets. Yes, I want pets, not pet vouchers. Pretty please. Starry Sakura 1273 said, Hugh Morris. In Hugh Morris we trust. I am totally making Hugh Morris on my island. I'm so excited. Wilster15 said, is there going to be a me limit of 100 me? Yeah, I really want to know what the me limit is because they haven't given us this so far. In Tomodachi Life, for the 3DS, of course, it was 100 me's, but the 3DS isn't as powerful as the Nintendo Switch, but also they've added so much more to this game, and it's kind of like running constantly where your me's are just kind of living out their lives throughout your island. There better be at least a limit of 100 me's. Now, if they let us go even further, that would be great. Shea C9320 said, my goat, quirky questions gotta return. And yes, we need to know if quirky questions, Judgment Bay, Tomodachi Quest, all these things that are like smaller details, but like I love the smaller details. I think most of us do, that we still haven't gotten confirmed. But at the same time, like, why would they show us these tiny little things? They want to like keep some of it a secret, so it better. I hope it does. Tommy Hendo said, it's available for pre-order BRB. Yes, it's available for pre-order. I have yet to pre-order it. Don't judge me. I know I'm obviously going to get the game. I'm actually going to get it digital so I can play it at midnight, but I got set aside the money. It's still $60, you know? The new Super A Gaming says, give us a concert hall. We just need it. We do. We need the concert hall. Leon with a Z. Leon's. My main question dash hope for the game is an increased maximum me limit. Hoping for 200 or more because it'd be more fun to have over 100. Yeah, I'm really hoping because they have to have over 100, please. And I think the like max that I've counted of like me homes and the housing complexes was like 36, which has me really worried because I obviously want to have more than 36 me's on my island, especially because I need room for my me's to have babies. So they better give us at least 100, and 200 will be fantastic. I don't even know if I'd make 100. I just want to, you know, make sure there's space to have me children. Lil Waffle 2207 says, I definitely want the me proposal to be easier for sure. I was always sweating whether one of the me's wanted to propose to get married. I so agree. Oh my goodness. Every time I do that mini game, my heart is pounding as much as the me's heart is pounding. Like I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I don't want to mess it up. They need to give us a new minigame that's less stressful. Omega Rider 97 says, if there is a concert hall, I'm hoping there's an option to create custom songs for me to perform. Yeah, so we got the different genres and then you get to write in what you want them to perform, but we haven't even seen the concert hall. So I'm hoping we're able to have just as much, if not more customizability, because this game is like really digging in deep to the customizability. So having more customization would be what we're looking for. Tamer of Animals 1 said, I swear, but I could have sworn I saw a city in the first trailer. Is that where the child me's will go when they grow up? Ooh, good question. I know there is the city in the background. Actually, I got a really good glimpse of it in the direct. Right behind Angie when she's like standing up, that I put in my hidden details that I found video. But there is most definitely a very detailed city in the background. So it is really interesting to consider, does it have an implication on the gameplay or not? And if so, what is it doing? Could that be where we send our me's now? And then they like return to us having found special things for us? I don't know. Dami Stick says, I wonder how many different dreams are in the game, and hopefully the hypnotizer comes back so you can see all the dreams whenever. Yeah, we've seen a couple clips that are clearly dreams. I don't think we've seen any that were returning dreams, if I can remember, but yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of different dreams. And yeah, we haven't seen anything about like the special items like the bath set, or the hypnotizer, or the music box, or even like the frying pan. Yeah. Who knows? There's still so many little things of the game that we haven't seen. Aqua Bloomy said, I'm curious how to add gifts like the bathing set or hair dye. Hey, look at that. There's something I was just talking about. Technically, you can carry the me to the sprinkler or color the me's hair in the me maker. Yeah, so clearly there are some things that are being replaced. Like, I can see them removing the age up and age down items. And obviously we don't need the hair dye anymore. Will they just take the bath themselves and we don't even like offer them the thing to suggest it? I don't know. We haven't really seen all that stuff, but also they haven't like taken the time to show us what's in the X menu when we're inside, where all of our gifts would be. So yeah. Bear Trombone 3787 said, could I theoretically download me's from Utopia to my system, then upload them to Tomodachi Life and redo all the makeup? And yes, you can. So actually you can download your me's from Utopia onto your Switch, and then from the Switch, it's clear like there's the option that you're going to be able to start on a me from your Switch and then edit it through their me maker, the Tomodachi Life one. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Burt Waffle says, I'm hoping there will be one island per profile instead of per Switch. It would be incredibly annoying if I had to live with one island when we want lots. Yeah, that's a good point. Animal Crossing New Horizons did that, where you're only allowed one island per Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Nintendo has yet to confirm that, and we really need to know which it is. Glitch Particle says, the Me gender selection screen looks like the dating preferences screen. Does that mean you can select multiple genders? I hope so. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. It seems to select one as you move through them. So that is something you'll have to take into consideration. Roachbug says, will the game last longer than Tomodachi Life? I'm worried that newer content won't last as long and end up like the first game. Just hoping that there's a lot of content. I hope so too. I think also we've all played out Tomodachi Life so much that when we go back, it seems like there's less because we've just done it so many times now because the game's been out 13 years. But it seems like there's a lot of dialogue options so far that we have seen in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, and a lot of fun and quirky little interactions, so I'm hoping that'll make this one, like, seem fresh for much longer. WFewGate said, in the original game, you had to save your data every time, so there would be a feature that you could choose where you can have autosave on or off. Yeah, I'm definitely assuming this game will have autosave, and I personally am going to keep that stuff on. Solid Tuxedo said, I know it's a small detail, but will me still have birthdays and such? It didn't seem to be shown in the direct. Now, luckily I did find on the Japanese page a little like me info card, and it does show Mii's birthdays, and even it's not sure if it's the year or the Mii's age. I think it's the Mii's age. So birthdays do return, and they're also optional, weirdly enough, which is good. I'm hoping that the Mii will like get to have a little mini Mii birthday party with all of their closest friends. That would be really cute. Connor J 1165 said, okay, my question is, so since the whole online sharing your Mii from Miitopia is not there, could they use QR codes to get the Miis instead of sharing them? Now, unfortunately, since Nintendo has confirmed they are removing the online Mii sharing and even photo sharing completely from us, we will not be able to scan QR codes at all because it's just not a feature they're going to add in. Now, if they change their mind later down the road, we don't know. That would be wonderful. I'm hoping that's something that they end up doing. Scar X Star said, I wonder if we will get a DLC. Maybe some things included in the DLC could be the concert hall, if it's not in the main game. More Miis on the island, more hobbies for the Miis, and more shops. I do hope we get some type of DLC, hopefully like free updates and stuff for any of the small little things that they think of after the game releases. And yeah, if they do not have the concert hall at launch, I am going to be on them saying you need to add it in some DLC. The same way I felt about the cafe not being in New Horizons from the beginning. Like, there's some things that you just have to tell Nintendo, no, go get back at it. You're not done. Panda Cat says, I think maybe Miitomo Miis couldn't sing and these Miis use the same voices as that Nintendo just can't make them sing at all. Oh goodness, I hope that's not the case. Even if so, I feel like they could definitely figure out a way. I mean, they've got an entire giant team of game developers, so I hope our Miis can sing. Jasmine3155 said, I hope we will have different seasons, and I would love if the weather would be able to change, like rain, snow, thunderstorms. Goodness, yeah. So we've seen seasonal ground, but it's like you can have multiple at a time, so it's weird. Like, we're gonna be able to choose to change the seasons. It's an odd choice, but I also get it because like Nintendo wants us to like do our own thing and go crazy with it. I personally am gonna be following the current seasons. Well, for the rest of the world. I live in the deep south, and it's so hot outside already. It feels like it's summer. I hate it. But as far as weather goes, I need weather. We have not seen any bit of weather. I'm hoping if they don't have it at launch, I get it, but at least add it in. It's the quality of life to me, the realism of seeing the rain and stuff, and I'm a huge fan of rain. I'll like put on the sound of rain just to like feel peace. That moody cartoonist said, I want to know if they'll make it so Mii's related to your Mii or lookalike can't date yours. I don't want my Mii to marry my brother again. Yes, we need a Mii family tree so desperately. Something to give us like the family relations in the game, even like the most basic kind, just to make sure we don't have any please Nintendo. Parallel Super Gaming said, I found out that TNC Reno is the same shape as the import shop of the 3DS game. Oh, that is interesting. I never really considered that. Yeah, they're both pretty boxy. Banimates8710 said, will they be doing anything to prevent the weird age gaps in relationships that can occur? For example, 4 and 17 that were still allowed to date in the last game. Yeah, the whole kid and then adult thing is odd. And they haven't shown us the section in the Mii Maker where you choose whether it's a kid or adult, so we don't know if that comes before or after the whole gender and dating preferences selection, so we don't even know if children will be able to date yet. I would be totally cool if they just removed children dating. I mean, to me, that's just, I don't know, it's a weird thing already. The Cool Me 1697 said, will the picture frame pre-order bonus from the UK be available for the rest of the world? Will there possibly be different pre-order bonuses for different countries? And probably not, at least for the first part. Depending on where you're getting it from, that really does tell you if you're going to get it on any certain date, because some of them will like take a couple days after the release date, or if there's any extra bonuses. So it really depends on where you're getting it from. It really does. Serenity the Lightstone 7541 said, considering the existence of the Mii Wheel, what do you think happened to the amusement park? Is it all crammed into the Mii Wheel? Or is it something that can be unlocked over time? It is a good question. It has weirded me out that the Mii Wheel is just the wheel on top of like this building, and it makes me wonder what else is in the building. And yeah, we're missing things like the merry-go-round and the roller coaster. I don't know. It would be nice if it got upgrades later on. Trash Teen 1488 said, I'm so excited for Gamies. I'm so glad that Nintendo didn't beat around the bush of the inclusion, and it's such an important addition for a life sim game. I totally agree. It was something I was really worried about leading up to the game, and if you watch my reaction, I basically screamed when I saw that there was non-binary option and that we had dating preferences option. I was like, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Ito's Melon said, pretty sure I already said this, but Nintendo needs to let Miis interact with stuff in their homes. I want Mii to sit on the couch or eat at the table, please. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, everything we've seen so far about Miis inside of their houses has shown them not interacting with any of the actual furnishings in the home. They could surprise us, they could just have not shown any of it, but so far it's looking like that is not the case. And more so than it not just being the case, we've also seen them interact only in the bottom area of the house when they're in the housing complex. So I'm thinking they want to encourage you to have Miis move in together so much so like then they can interact with the bottom space and just kind of go into their own room for smaller bits or when they need help with an issue. I don't know, unfortunately I don't see it happening yet. Lava Luffy said, with gay-same-sex marriages in the game, can marriages of the same or even different sex have kids? Will a relationship between two males be able to adopt a Mii, or will they be locked out of that feature? Now, wonderfully enough, we can actually look back to Tomodachi Life and the way that they handled having Mii babies as a perfect example of how Nintendo can continue this. So when a Mii wanted to have a baby, they would tell you, like, they would, have the heart bubble, and then you'd ask them what the problem is, and they'd be like, we're thinking about having a baby. And then you'd say if that's a good idea or not. And so we can continue that so that couples that would not want to have a child, you can be like, no guys, not a good idea. And then if you say yes, at some point, randomly, like you don't get to see the Mii pregnant at all, they call you and they're like, hey, come over to our house. Guess what? We had a baby. And it's really left kind of ambiguous as to whether they adopted or they biologically had that baby. So really they just need to keep that system completely the same now and then just leave it up to the player to decide whether they think that they had this child whichever way they feel. Which means it's perfectly fine for any kind of relationship. Maleos said, my wonder is about the Switch 2. Will it be getting anything for it? Will the graphics be better? I really hope so. Playing Switch 1 games on the Switch 2 sucks. Finally, what about mouse controls? Getting to use the mouse controls for drawing would be so helpful. Oh my goodness, yeah. The mouse controls on the drawing customization feature would be really helpful. I do see them saying something about it at some point. It might be post-launch though that they make the Switch 2 version. I'm not sure. Or they'll announce it shortly before it's released. I don't know though because they've already done pre-orders for it. So I think if they already were ready for it, they would have already done it. So it's probably going to be a post-launch thing that they'll make the Switch 2 version. Astra Goat said, I really want to see interactions with the sea, like swimming, fishing, and maybe having different places to go with a boat. I honestly don't care if it looks like Animal Crossing New Horizons or not. The most important thing is to enjoy the game, I think. Yeah, I remember when it first shown, a lot of people were talking about how the flowers and the butterflies look similar. And like, yeah, but like, they're similar games in a way. I'm really not bothered by stuff like that. Also, they play very different though. Like, playing Tomodachi Life games is very different than playing Animal Crossing games, okay? And we have not seen that yet. I really want to see them interacting with the sea. I mean, we've seen some, like them shouting over the ocean and stuff, but like, if the water's there, can they go swimming? Can they swim to sections of island that are like kind of blocked off? It's stuff like this I really want to know. I know it's like tiny details, but I like the tiny details. V Rocco 2 said, I still wonder if the office exists, where we can specifically check on how many Miis with different personalities we have, along with the town hall, so we can see what kind of items we collected, and which ones we're still missing. Things like the child's records as well. Yeah, so we have not seen a town hall so far, and I really feel like that's probably because they're putting all that in a basic menu, basically. But I could be wrong. I do like having like actual physical buildings to go to for stuff like that. I don't know, it's the little thing. Rhythm ZZ said, I would love to see the concert hall return, but if it doesn't, maybe they'll instead have outdoor performances? Like when the Japanese idols do pop-up shows in Japan and stuff like that would be cool. I also hope to get customized the lyrics to our fullest extent and maybe more genres of music to pick from as well. Yeah, so I think it's interesting because on the box arts like full page on the Switch on the Nintendo eShop, they show the Miis with the light sticks at the water fountain. So I'm really wondering if they're kind of hinting towards the performances being at the water fountain now. But of course, we don't know anything of that yet, so it's kind of hard to speculate. But outdoor performances would be cool. Any performances would be cool. KC4 said, I pray the personality system is way more in-depth than the sequel. While playing the first one, I didn't really notice what it really did at all. And in the sequel, I want my Miis bursting with personality. That means something. I agree, and I really feel like they're leaning on personalities a lot more, considering it's like the way that their house looks at first. It's the color of their curtain. It's on their info card when they're being sent to other people. So I really feel like they are leaning more into it. But if there's more interest, like more to it in like the way that they interact, I'm not sure. They haven't really shown that yet. JBelow1 said, hopefully they add something similar to the rankings board, because it's just funny to compare which Miis are more desirable, popular, even though it's kind of evil. Yeah, I remember the money, like how much you spent on the Mii one would be like insanely favoring my Mii. They're really fun. It's just something fun to look into. I really do hope they return. Mr. Makura3421 said, today being Valentine's Day, I got the idea that it would be nice if they expanded on the in-game events just from the previous game for these kinds of things. Like including more holidays and making them really special and just more than just exclusive food and outfits. Have a nice day. Sweet comment. Yeah, I'm also hoping the holidays get legitimately celebrated in the game. Fingers crossed for that. Because food and outfits is fun, but I actually, I want to see my Miis do stuff, get all together. Watch my Miis exchange Valentines to each other. Watch them exchange presents at Christmas. Eat dinner together on Thanksgiving. All these little things. Lemon Wing said, I'm honestly just loving how much the community is growing. I love seeing people who didn't even play the first game slowly get excited with us for this one. I feel like I'm on a mission to get as many people as possible excited for this game. I am on that mission with you, my friend. Yeah, it's really exciting to see, like, so many people are so excited for this game, and there's tons of us who have played the games before that are super excited, but then there's also people that have never played them before that are just as hyped as us to actually get to play this game for the first time, and that's so sweet and so exciting. I love it. The community definitely has grown a lot. And I mean, also, like, now we can really get hyped up because now we have so much info. T-Bone to my T said, I'm wondering if we're gonna get any future updates for the game. Possibly a concert hall update. Also seasonal events like Christmas decorations in December on your island. That would be cool to see as well. Yes to all of that. I really hope so. The concert hall better exist. And I would like to spend some Christmas time with my Miis. Sayed Ramen I7Z said, kind of weird, but I want hilly area. I was thinking of making the OG island, but I don't know if that's possible. But also being able to make hills and things similar would be cool. We have not been shown anything of the sort, and I kind of feel like with the way that they have shown it so far, they would have shown that feature if it was a thing. So I'm saying right now that it's not likely. It might be in an update though, who knows? W Fugate said, Honestly, I think most questions were answered already. But that said, I want to know how easy it is to make Miis move in together. Like, I want to have Mr. Roberts, Mario, Baldi, and Cartman living together, but I may not be able to. Beautiful combo. I hope you get that. I hope you will be living your dream with that. ClareMe5511 said, with the new customization thing, I am wondering if we can create new food items, which would be really cool, because I'd love to see more food from my country, or even traditional food from Africa or Asia. Oh, definitely. It seems like not only will we be able to customize our foods, but then we can save them and buy more for later. So basically you can create whatever you want. That's Tomodachi Life living the dream. Create whatever you want. That should be the tagline. Sora K Art 7 said, since they're going full into making non-human Miis, I wish they had some animal-like hairs. As an example, by the sides, types of ears, or even maybe antenna. Hats for this are fine, but like, I feel like that could be expanded upon. That would be really cool to see. So we have seen all the ears so far, and the only like non-human ear is the elf ear. But hey, who knows what they could add in updates. Jin Desu Yo said, it didn't look like it in the trailer, but I wonder how much touchscreen will be incorporated considering the Switch has never really had like a touchscreen heavy console from the start. Tomodachi Life has always been a game that used it heavily, though, so I'm curious about how they'll implement it for the Switch. Yeah, I'm hoping that they'll at least enable it, even if it's not like required, obviously, because the Switch really, like you said, it has not been a touchscreen heavy console. I often forget that it even has the ability. And I loved the touchscreen on the 3DS, loved it. A year Eclipse Hyastin said, I'm hoping that all possible closing options are available to get over time. Spot Pass was an interesting idea at the time, but it meant that late adopters can never get access to stuff that would look cute on their Islanders. Yeah, so I bought my current 3DS and I bought it on eBay because it was specially made with the capture card into it so that I could record Tomodachi Life Let's Plays in the store. But like the eShop closed down, so I can't get any of the Spot Pass. But luckily Spot Pass is a thing of the past, so that's not really a concern anymore. Lily loves The Office, which, ma'am, if you're talking about the show, that is my favorite show of all time. Says, I really hope the boundary for expanding your island gets bigger as you progress. Also, I'm really hoping that we can at least have some form of online functionality. I am not a very creative person at all, so I definitely will need to get my Miis from other islands and whatnot. Love your videos! Aw, thank you! I really do think that our boundary for expanding the island is definitely going to expand. I feel like, it's like gonna be slow progression and you get more and more as you progress. I'm also hoping they add some type of online functionality in the update, like they take back their feelings on it, please, Nintendo. Also, if you see my Miitopia and even my Tomodachi Life Let's Play, I have not been a very creative Mii creator, so I'm really gonna have to dust off my Mii making skills with this game. Ped Duarte 79 said, like I mentioned previously, the hint for early gameplay in the demo. But there's video on YouTube about Tomodachi Life 3DS demo. Both give us a notion of what to expect for the demo for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. Yes, we have no demo announcement yet, but I'm hoping that we'll get one. At least like a demo of the Mii Maker. Let me get my hands on that thing. But I feel like if we do get one, it'll be kind of closer to the 1 month before launch. So there's still time to see. Univens says, I have a question. Since the first trailer, we can see something that looks like a city in the background. I wonder if we can go there. Maybe the concert hall will be in that mysterious city? Yeah, still wondering about that city and if it has any implication on our gameplay. Baby Davy says, I'm gonna be really light when I ask this, but I really hope there will be a little bit more options for family-related members that you can set for your Mii. Like a family tree, or like a related to. Yeah, we really need this feature. I really need Nintendo to implement that. Black Guy 1645 said, I am wondering if they will add Tomodachi Quest with a new map or make new minigame. Because they re-added the mystery gift from the first game, it would be sad if they don't add Tomodachi Quest. Yeah, I want to see Tomodachi Quest return and at least a couple new minigames like that. It'd be really neat. Like, I had the idea of like, basically you can find the arcade machines within the Mii wheel maybe? I don't know, I'd like to see them return. Candy Raw 9 said, I'm in love with the new customization for this game. I can already see myself spending hours in the Mii Maker alone. I'm also worried about family trees, but I'm sure Nintendo has at least some common sense. Let's hope, let's hope. And yeah, I'm also gonna be spending hours in that Mii Maker. Gotta get good. Mint the Dragon Cat said, I'm so excited, but are we going to be making music videos, or are we still gonna have a concert hall? Will we have a movie theater to make funny clips, like, for example, maybe a romantic movie about me falling in love with food? That's a very cute idea. I hope we at least get the concert hall. Hopefully we get even more than that. Pasta Power 69 said, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with the little games of the island that you got to do. Quirky Questions, Tomodachi Quest, Judgment Bay. Like, I hope they bring them back or just make new ones. I do hope we get to see them return. And of course, we're going to probably get some type of new stuff. I mean, we've already seen a lot of new stuff. But yeah, those tiny little, random extra stuffs were always so special. The Sloth 596 said, I like the silly pet doodles, but I'd still love to see some actual pet models. Also, I'm hoping the babies come from a stork so that all married couples can have this cute, fun way. And of course, I'm looking forward to being able to make as many Miis as possible. Yes, yes, yes to all of that. The stork is a funny idea. Although I like the way it's already set up with Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. Lord of the Bats 4 said, I wonder if dreams will be expanded. They showed a dream at the end of the first trailer, and the title could have a double meaning. Could they be more interactive than before, or have more of an impact on the Miis? That is an interesting thought. We're living the dream. Also, it kind of reminds me, if you go back all the way to, like, the Tomodachi Life for the 3DS Direct, where they're like, have you ever had that dream of starting a new life? And then they just kind of like sing about it, like it's a song for Tomodachi Life, and it's like, it's funny. Or have you ever had that dream? And now we're gonna be living the dream. It's like foreshadowing, 13 years ahead of time, or before time. I'm dyslexic. Give me a break. Person who exists, sadly. Oh my god. Your username has me a little concerned for you. I am glad that you exist. Anyway, says, I want there to be a clear family tree. I'm not sure, but I don't think Miis could have great-grandparents, and that kind of sucked. Or I at least want to set me and my sister as siblings. Don't want any weird stuff. I had to manually mod in the last game, and it was a pain. Yeah, I agree. We do not need any family member activities. Let's keep our crushes to people not related. Airmaster 2020 said, I'm hoping that the create based on existing Mii button means that other Miis can have a family tree rather than just look alike. Because that was definitely a need for this game, because it lacked it in the first game, which was really weird. Yeah, we need something, Nintendo, here. Emily Loves Nature said, Hi! I really hope the shared house space has variations. Loved how the family houses change design depending on a couple's personalities. Also, where's the baby gonna sleep? So far, we have seen, I think, 3 separate houses, and the bottom area stayed the same every single time. No, with the promotional image, we have 4 now, and the bottom has stayed the same every single time. There's a small section outside that changes, but I don't even think the Miis interact with that, so it's kind of a non-starter. And yeah, I don't know where the baby is gonna sleep. I would assume they would sleep in the main bottom area, because how would you choose which Mii parents' bedroom they'd sleep in? Or would they already get their own room within the house and that's where they'd sleep? Actually, that's making the most sense to me, because obviously when they turn into a child, they need to have their own room anyway. So they're probably going to move into their own room and have like a mini nursery before they actually like age into a child Mii. That's my guess, at least. JKid101090 said, I feel like Miis definitely need to interact more and fight less in the game. I went back to Tomodachi Life out of hype, and it has been non-stop fighting. The ability to forcefully introduce Miis to each other in living the dream is absolutely appreciated. Yes, I definitely need that. I feel like mine doesn't have that much fighting. I don't know, man. CSCTL2 said, I need couples and spouses to do something except hanging out. Maybe cook food together, go on dates. Maybe couples can suggest specific things you can add to the island, like a romantic fountain or something. I don't know. I mean, we're already seeing lots of things that they can do within their own house. I definitely see a lot more romance in this game where they'll go on dates and stuff, especially since you see all these Miis hanging out outside. I feel like if they're in a couple, they'll be doing that more lovey-dovey, with the little hearts coming off of them. Angel Goodwin says, my pondering question, will it have separate islands for each user count, or will it be 1 per console? And will the Mii limit exceed 100? If Miitopia can hold 500 Miis, I hope it will be like that. Yeah, that would be nice. Pretty please, Nintendo. Give us lots. Give us the ability to have lots of Miis. Story and Eclipse asks, I wonder if Mii families can have multiple children at a time. It could be twins, or if a little sibling arrives when the older child is already present in the household. I would also love to see playdates and other fun interactions between siblings and children. Yes, yes, yes. I love Mii babies, and I love having Mii babies in this game, so I really want it to be more interactive. Pretty please, Nintendo. Agarase says, I want them to keep regional differences from the previous games, because I think it's fun comparing the differences between the versions of the game. Also, I wonder if they are going to bring back British Miis for the Europe version of the game. Looking at the differences between the, all of the Tomodachi Life directs and the, trailers we've seen so far, it does seem like there are some regional differences, but I think they're less stringent on the important stuff and more of like minor differences so far. The Undertaker 525 says, I have a few questions. How many Miis will we get? 100 or more? Because by the looks of it, we could be getting more. Another question is, can we have triplets? Will it cost anything to expand our island via quick build? All great questions. See, it's crazy how much we've already got, and yet we have so many questions left. Backzam LP said, my question for this game is about how many Miis can we have depending on how big the island can get? And will there still be a town hall to add Miis, or will there be a different way to add them? And will Amiibo be compatible with game, so they could add outfits like Mario and Kirby? All great questions. It would make a lot of sense that how big your island is would impact how many Miis you could have, especially if we're expanding our islands now. Big HV3V said, I'm gonna be honest, I would rather have pets be proper 3D models with animations than flat images. That's quite boring to me. Though seeing as that's my only nitpick, I think it's rather impressive. Yeah, there's not a lot that's bad about the game. But yeah, I agree, I want legitimate pets, please. I'm in Office 641 says, I don't think this is going to happen, but I'll look really cool if they do this, lol. What if you can make little movies by picking locations and placing your Miis around and giving them lines to say with animations you can choose? Kind of like the phrase animations. I think that would be really cool. That would be really cool, and you would look really cool. In fact, you already look really cool. Have a wonderful day. The Annoying Artist 101. Okay. Y'all have some fun names. I love it. Says, I'm personally wondering if they changed anything about raising kids. Like, since there's no online sharing things, but temporary in-person local pay, could we send our just grown-up kids to travel to a friend's Switch using local play? I mean, yeah, once they're turned into a full child we could send them, but it will be local play, yeah. I'm hoping they take that back eventually. Zoe Cass said, probably won't happen, but as there's not going to be direct online sharing, it would be cool if you could scan me QR codes. Y'all, my speech has not been perfect ever since I had those scramble seizures. The amount of edits I have to do to make any videos is ridiculous. This one, I am 53 minutes into recording the audio. Oh, goodness. I just can't move my tongue the way I'm supposed to sometimes, I swear. Anyway. It would be cool if you could scan me QR codes from the 3DS game on the Nintendo Switch Online mobile app to share Miis that way. Similar to how custom designs made in Animal Crossing New Leaf can be imported to Animal Crossing New Horizons through your phone. It would be so awesome. And they haven't added it. I really hope that they add it later on because, yeah. I'd like to share my Mii with you guys. Jojo Skits 3971 said, a big question is whether or not this is now an ongoing series. For a long time, Tomodachi Life has been a standalone game, with of course Miitopia acting as a spin-off. However, now that there is no third Tomodachi Life title, can we expect to see more in the future? Even if they do or don't become more frequent. Well, actually, Tomodachi Collection was the first game, which came out on the DS, and then we got Tomodachi Life on the 3DS, so now this is the third game in this series, coming to the Nintendo Switch. So now getting this, it has become like a full series, and we can most definitely expect to get a fourth installation, probably not on until whatever comes after the Switch 2, but yeah, we're basically guaranteed to continue this series onward, which I'm so happy about. Jay Yin the Hyena said, given the name face painting most likely only applied to the face, but what if you could for like the eyes and mouth? Like if someone wanted a golden tooth on their Mii, or for the eyes sclera to be a different color? That's a good question. It would be nice if we could make adjustments like that. I'm not sure. I mean, because in the Direct, there was the one girl who clearly has like an eyebrow piercing, but like it looks like it's drawn on. So like we can draw on like that, but I don't know if we're able to draw on like over the Mii's eyes. And since you can remove the mouth and the nose and stuff, but like can you put on a mouth and designate it as the mouth so that it moves when they talk? Those would be nice features to add in. Evelyn Makes Things says, I just hope the game has more diverse interactions than Tomodachi Life on the 3DS, as my only gripe was that introducing friends and certain other interactions, engagement for example, are all a bit repetitive. I hope it is spiced up. Yes, I hope to reduce the repetitiveness and get lots of unique interactions, make the games interesting forever. I love Animal Crossing New Horizons, but it did not feel like that long before I started hearing my villagers, not me's, my villagers start to repeat some of their phrases and stuff, and I'm like, I need that variety. Mr. Movie and TV Guy 5310 said, I'm hoping for there to be 100 to 200 we could add to our island, Mii's. Judging by the part in the trailer where we saw a huge island, it might be possible. Also, I have a question about gay and lesbian couples having babies. Are they gonna have an adoption mechanic in place, or will Nintendo go all crazy and wacky with it? I think their already system does make sense for it. And yeah, hopefully, I am hoping for 100 to 200 Mii's, somewhere in that range. I don't imagine they could do over 200. In fact, I feel like the cap will probably be closer to 100 to 500, 100 to 150. I can't imagine that many Mii's comfortably being able to coexist on an island. Phobe N4X said, we need to talk about where the concert hall is. If it's missing, then I'm going to crash out. Number 2, Hugh Morris, and how Angie will forever regret introducing him to Dr. Winters. I mean, she was singing at their wedding. It seems like she got over it. She'll find love again, guys. It's okay. Brady Rowe said, I am hoping that family trees are in the game. I have a feeling they won't be, but it would be super cool to see. For example, you created Mii and already made their parent and siblings on the island. And you could select Mii's on the island and select their family relationships. I think it would be very helpful so my Mii isn't dating their sibling. Lol. Yeah, I agree. It would be very helpful. Also, in the previous game, you could, like, say no to certain Mii's trying to get together. It would just kind of upset them. So we can at least stop it, I'm sure, but yeah, a Mii family tree to stop the feelings from ever catching would be very helpful, please, Nintendo. Shady O said, I am so excited for roommates and quirks. I can only imagine the funny scenarios we'll get to see, and quirks are just another step into making each Mii unique. I hope they add some new buildings and events. I saw someone suggest a jail for Mii's that commit silly crimes. That would be so funny. No, guys, please don't add jail. Oh, it just started raining. I love when it rains. Shadow Citizen 545 said, the only thing I want to know is, if I have it on Switch 2 and own a camera, can I still use the photo to make a Mii? That feature used to help me so much on the 3DS, because I would literally have an image of the person I was creating right next to the Mii. It would be nice, but considering it's not in the Mii Maker at all, I doubt it. Monsuno Fan 1996 said, I'm hoping in this game proposals will be easier. I remember in the first game you had to touch the heart when the partner was thinking about the other person, but sometimes when you click the heart, it changes last second and it doesn't count. It says whatever was in the thought bubble. So I'm hoping that'll get fixed. Oh my gosh, yeah. If you guys have watched, actually it was the last Tomodachi Life Let's Play before. I'm recently getting back, I'm getting back into it soon. But I nearly messed up my proposal because I kept thinking about queso, guys. I tapped it at the wrong moment. I get so nervous. Yeah, I'm hoping they fix that. I need a different minigame, guys. Bossy Guy says, my biggest concern is about events. I don't think we've seen a single one similar to the ones on the 3DS. Timed ones like Rap Battle or Tomodachi Quest, or anytime ones like Judgment Bay and Quirky Questions. I suppose the Mystery Bag. I would love to see even more events than the original had, and it would be very sad and almost empty if I didn't have things like that. I really do hope we see all of them, or at least most of them, return. But like, when you think about it, it's kind of like the things that you wouldn't really want to spend all this time showing us and have us more of find out on the game when we're playing ourselves. I mean, because obviously the marketplace is great for the mystery bag, the morning market, the afternoon clothing shop, stuff like that. So There's definitely ways they can add them back. Artsy Doggy Official says, I have a theory on the concert hall feature. Back in Tomodachi Collection, all the Miis just sang in their rooms, and the concert hall only got included in the second game. If you can still make your Miis sing, maybe the Miis can be set to sing in various island spots, or just be confined in their rooms again. Or maybe Nintendo will make a concert hall in between the previous direct and release. Yeah, I'm really hoping there's some way. I would not be opposed to us being able to just kind of choose a spot on our island to make our Miis perform, or even like literally performing at the water fountain would be great. Ego Novem said, what do you think? Will the Miis in Living the Dream be a sneak peek to what Miis could look like in the future in some future console system? I don't know. The previous game had hair dye. Miitobi for the 3DS had expanded color options. 3DS system itself didn't. However, Switch introduced expanded color options. Ooh, that's a good point. I do hope that this Mii Maker will eventually make its way into being the Nintendo system Mii Maker, because it's the ultimate Mii Maker. Bean PX4FO said, I was wondering if the food items that you can draw on with the palette house can be saved. Like, is it one-time custom food item, or can you save the drawing and be used on more than one food item? I'd like to give my Mii's custom food, but would be disappointed if the custom item could only be used once, if you'd have to draw it on again to use it more. Actually, that's pretty much confirmed that we'll be able to use it multiple times, as when you watch the direct, in the actual food market, you can see a section that has a little paint icon over it, so basically, there's a section at the food store to go ahead and buy your already previously customized items. So we will be able to do that, which is great, because yeah, like you said, having to do that over and over again would be exhausting. Inkling Squid 4688 said, they won't do this, but if they have vegetarian and vegan options, my life belongs to the Tomodachi Life director. Also, I've not seen anyone, you might have said it in video, apologies if you have, but where's the town hall? This gives me hopes we're getting the concert hall. I think I did mention it in my questions we still have video. But yeah, we're still missing the town hall, we're still missing the concert hall, and it would be really cool if we had those options, but at the very least you can choose what to feed your Miis most of the time. Anamo754 said, I wish they'd show some of the translations soon. English is not my first language, so I played Tomodachi in my native one, obviously, and they did a great job on the adaptation. It gave the game a lot of charm and personality. I also need to know if there's going to be a replacement for Traveler Miis, now that we won't be able to share Miis or images. Great questions. Also, you did really good on your English writing, so congrats. KiwiVerse 2023 said, I want amiibo collaboration like Legend of Zelda and Splatoon have for Animal Crossing. Imagine Mario or Zelda clothes and furniture for Tomodachi Life. I also want family trees in the game, so if any related Miis don't date each other, lol. Also, where's the concert hall? Why haven't we seen it yet? All of that would be great. Most definitely. And I'd love to see like full amiibo collaborations. Trey Money 1019, welcome back, said, I hope that Miis are way more expressive with their personalities. Also, I may or may not cheat and use a little guide that's specific personalities for certain Miis. Here's a fun discussion. Is that cheating? In my opinion, I think it's cheating in the same way time travel is in Animal Crossing. In a way, yeah, I do think it is cheating, but also it's forgivable cheating, just like time traveling in Animal Crossing. I'm not gonna lie, I've done it. There have been times that I just don't get the chance to go and do certain things in the month, and I'm like, I am not waiting an entire year to catch all of the bugs and fish again. Who Knows Juno said, I really hope that most of the content isn't locked to Switch 2. I, unfortunately, don't have a Switch 2. I don't want to go out to buy one just so I can play the game. Luckily, this is a Nintendo Switch 1 game, so if anything, there's just going to be very small things that might be added in a Switch 2 version, similar to Animal Crossing Switch 2 version, in my opinion. I also do not have a Switch 2 yet because it is $500 freaking dollars. That is $500,000. Who the heck just has that? Oh my god, Nintendo! Jacob Hemingway 213 said, my biggest question is, will Nintendo add more diversity options? With the inclusion of same-sex relationships and non-binary option, it's giving me hope that disability and neurodiversity representation could be added in, as these groups are underrepresented in media, especially video games, and this could make the game more inclusive. Oh my god, I love that, yeah. I would love to see Miis with like wheelchairs and stuff. There is a lot they could do with that. Lalo Gaming 14 said, I really got to say, if they add more retro style games and have a Mii limit more than the first game, then this will be in competition for my favorite game of all time. Seriously though, the devs can throw anything in there and I'll still freak out. A sequel like this comes once in a blue moon. We have won, Tomodachi fans, we have won. Yes, we have! We won! We got it! Tomodachi Life living the dream is real. Ah! Do what makes you happy says, I want to say that I'm so excited for the island customization. I said it before that I wanted the second Tomodachi Life game to take place on Woohoo Island from Wii Sports Resort, and I'm going to try and recreate it to the best of my ability when the game comes out. I have a feeling I won't really be able to make the volcano or even a mountain, but I want to definitely make the town area with all the shops and the beach and stuff. I love that. I love Woohoo Island. I love Nintendo. I love Wii Sports Resort. So definitely share that island once you've made it. I want to see it. Maggie Core says, I hope there's a ranking boards again, but I doubt it would happen due to the fact that we now have non-binary Miis, so the boy and girl charm will probably be thrown out for inclusivity reasons. I'm also hoping we can mix and match clothing items along with being able to somewhat decorate interiors. I've seen people say that My Treasures might be a way to store and keep items that we can display in Mii homes. So I could definitely see the rankings board returning and just combining everyone into one. Just like charm instead of personal charm to each gender. SGT Bilby says, is it possible that if the game sells well, which I hope it does, they will announce expansions, hopefully free? If we can show that we can be less 4chan-ish with the game, maybe Nintendo can lax the image share restrictions? Also, will there be any restrictions with the face paint as opposed to Miitopia's makeup feature that we should be aware of? All great questions. I am hoping so. Zephyr Leaf says, the makeup system is back and is definitely different from its predecessor. But is it a downgrade? We haven't seen much of it. But so far it looks like we're only able to add makeup to the foundation of the face, not the mouth, eyes, eyebrows, etc. I don't know. I'm just worried it might be more limiting. I shouldn't be so worried, but Nintendo is no stranger to removing previous content from their sequels. And yes, it is different. It is not quite the same, but at the same time, we now have the face painting options, so it's kind of like we have more. It's just different. Josai Tenno says, I want some sort of ranking system and expanded Mii data. What I mean is in the original game, you had the rankings board. I'd still like to be able to see that information, like who's the most popular Mii, etc. And I'd like to fill out my Mii's data. So far, they haven't shown birthdays or anything like that. My assumption is they didn't show it to save time. At least I hope so. Well, birthdays are confirmed, so yeah, there's that, and there's probably so much more that they haven't shown us because they just showed us 22 minutes, and they even ended off the direct saying this is a general overview, so there is still so much more to the game that we have not seen. The Real Morgan the Great said, I'm still wondering how Nintendo will handle the online communication part of Tomodachi Life, especially because of the Japan website screenshots of chatting with a friend about a Mii, and possibly sending one to their island. Wouldn't that go against their whole no image-Mii sharing policy? Sharing Miis was a huge part of the OG Tomodachi Lives. Heck, they had a whole dock and would send off Mii offspring to others' islands. So I'm questioning how Nintendo will beat around the bush with this key feature. It's a good question. What they have shown is local communication, which they specifically said there's no image sharing and then there's no online Mii sharing. But it was definitely interesting to wonder if they'll be able to add it in later on. I'm hoping. Halo Hey Bae said, will same-gender couples be able to have babies, and how will that be integrated? How many Miis can your island accommodate? Will there be hourly events-mini games? Can the Miis still sing? Will the Mii's personalities actually affect their compatibility? Will you be able to assign familial ties between pre-existing Miis? Can you choose what the Miis refer to you as, i.e. caretaker, leader, administrator? Will married couples be able to choose to continue living as their roommates, or will they be able to live in their own houses? If we do eventually get DLC, will polyamory be a possible relationship option? So many good questions here. I hope we get hourly events and mini games. Also, I really hope we get to choose what they refer to you as, because in the American Direct, they refer to you as leader. In the UK and otherwhere Direct, they refer to you as caretaker. And in the Japanese Direct, they refer to you as administrator. I don't know if it's a region locked or if we'll get to choose, but if we get to choose, I want to be the caretaker because that sounds way sweeter. Hard Believer says, something I thought was missing from the 3DS game was the ability to set Mii's relationships to each other. Really hoping they add that option in. The functionality is definitely there, since I'm pretty sure you can still have kids, so we'll just have to wait and see if they let us use it for adults too. Also, I'm really curious what kind of quirks they'll let us hand out. My goodness, yes, I need more of the quirks. I need a full menu of them because I'm so excited to start giving those to every Mii on my island. Make them all really unique. Vioducky said, I know that freehand face paint is a thing, but I still hope we have the option where we can deform shapes like in Miitopia, where I know drawing with a joystick is not really fun. I do think we still can because of the perfect triangles on Hugh Morris or the perfect ovals on Mocha, so maybe. I'm also a little worried about the sheer amount of customization on the island, as I'm not really someone who's good at that kind of stuff, but maybe it's different because in Animal Crossing, island customization takes many years for me to do, and living the dream is definitely more like The Sims. Yeah, the customization is very different because in Animal Crossing, you are your own character, you are walking through and personally doing it by hand, versus you're basically like an overview, like a god, placing everything down in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. So definitely very different customization. Also, it showed in that, face paint, you know, the customization, that there's stamps. And I think it showed on there the triangle and the ovals were part of the stamps. So we'll be able to stamp those exact shapes. So that definitely will slow down, like speed up the process and make it easier for us. Awesome Hot Wheels 9717 said, 4 things I want the most are Concert Hall, Tomodachi Quest, Silly Million Games in general, more birthday years. Like, I want to have a Mii born in like 1084 or something, or 3000. Oh, increase max speed limit. Oh, great there. Frisky Was Taken said, honestly, might be the only one that will say this, but I hope there's going to be more ear types than the ones shown in the direct. The amount seems so small and also kind of basic and generic. I want more ear types to go along with many different types of characters. I also wish there's a possibility of inclines and different elevation layers for the island, similar to at least to Animal Crossing. I'd like to make mountains and put a Mii on top of one or something similar. Those would be nice for sure. Trey Money 1019 says, I feel as there's 2 different types of players who enjoy Tomodachi Life. Those who more enjoy making a bunch of jokes and freaks to do Tomodachi-like stuff, and those who may make the same characters but love the storylines the games or themselves make. But of course, neither is the wrong way to play, as long as you're having fun with what the game has to offer. Yeah, it's all about having fun. Everybody can do it their own way. Quixie3502 says, I'm super curious about how obtaining certain buildings will go. Will we automatically unlock buildings based on how many Miis we have, how many problems we have solved, etc.? Or will we be able to buy certain buildings from Quick Build, such as buildings for a theme park, roller coaster? We have only seen the Ferris wheel. And if this ends up being the case, will we be able to customize those buildings as well? Like giving them custom textures and appearances? That would be super neat. Those are definitely good questions. I really want to know how quickly we can get everything because I want everything immediately. But I don't know if they're also going to add, because before it was problem solved and amount of Miis, will they also add in how many days you've been playing and things like that? It's all important things for us to know. Lee Scott 8717 says, one small thing that really got me excited that I've seen nobody really bringing up is a realistic hand of the game. I don't know if anyone else spotted this, but it made me really pumped. POC hands look so much better now. In Tomodachi Life, they look like they just tinted the white hands with the different colors, which honestly looked abhorrent. But now they don't actually look bad, at least as a first impression, as Angie is really light-skinned, so the contrast isn't too apparent immediately, but they have lighter palms and don't look like they messed up with the RGB channels. I love that so much, I'm really stoked. Yeah, the hands are really cute in this. It definitely looked like the scene with that was from a dream, and I loved how the hand was based on that Mii skin tone. Really cute. Lost in Space says, I hope they bring back some classic minigames, dash events such as Tomodachi Quest, Boy Dash Girl Talks, or just meetups for Miis to talk dash general neutral talks. That one game on the Watchtower where you can write questions and Miis have to raise their hand if they relate to it. That was one of the funniest games in my opinion. I'm so hyped. Finally, after a long wait, we're getting the game. It's gonna be so peak. Yes, Quirky Questions was one of the funniest ones. We got some really good meme material from it. Lee Scott 8717 is back at it again, saying more things that came to mind. Will we be able to have an island per Nintendo account, or is it an Animal Crossing type of deal? How would that work for the doppelganger Mii? Though I guess we aren't lookalikes in this game anymore. And another thing, in the island shown in the second trailer, that has a double instance of some shops. Phototomo, Tamoria, Fresh Kingdom. Does that repetition make it so each iteration of the shop like Fresh Kingdom have different items for sale? That feels like that would be really broken, lol. This is a good question. I really, I'm so weirded out by the double shops. I feel like I might not even do it even if it does, each one offers different daily items. I don't know, man, it's weird. What is the purpose of that? Some Facey333 says, since there's going to be no online tied to this game, what will happen to me's that grow up and don't want to be on your island? Are you going to be forced to have them on your island until you delete that me whenever that option is? Because there's no town hall building? And if there's an option to send them off, where would they go since they can't visit other players' islands? The only thing I could think of is them visiting their parents once in a while, and it could be like a vacation ticket where they show the me in front of some stock photos of the country they travel to. But I can see that getting really boring and repetitive so fast, so I don't know. It is a good question, but also I feel like you're able to tell the me whether you want them to have the baby or not. I imagine that will return, so there's no instances of oh, you guys had a baby, I'll get to delete it. Totorama07 says, I have a few questions. Will the minigames such as the quizzes or the item catch return? Will there be new ones? In the direct when Angie says she got shot down by Patrick, I began to wonder if those things could happen off screen because of how it was worded. Lastly, will the island spot specific events be in the game? Like the Never Have I Ever event, the rap battle, and the one at the beach where the Mii's picked a side? Judgment Bay. I hated the catching item minigame. I failed so much. I do think that they just didn't show us the whole interaction when she got shot down, but I don't know for sure. It's a good question. Murky Water 6 says, I can naturally only assume that me sharing will eventually be integrated into the gameplay. It only makes sense, and I see Nintendo caving to the pressure. That said, I'm still advocating for a sort of sharing forum for me's in the meantime, Dash as a replacement. ATP, I might take that under my wing, but we'll have to see. I'm incredibly hyped for this game, and if you don't make videos on it, I fear I may turn to dust. Yeah, I'm really hoping Nintendo does cave to the pressure. We just gotta keep telling them. I mean, we told them we wanted Tomodachi Life enough that they caved, and they even showed it to us an year before they actually came out with it, so I feel like they were like, guys, here, it's coming, shut up! And don't worry, I'm still gonna keep making videos as much as I can. I appreciate all the support so much. Goodness, and this one's a long one. I'm currently 1 hour and 22 minutes into recording. I'm almost done. Bessie Burnett 9816 says, I hope, like in Animal Crossing, you can have multiple levels to your island. Island customization is fun, but now the island is flat, square, and boring. Compared to the actual island in life, and it seems so low effort. At least New Horizons also had a curvature to the world. I also hope for more official me distribution, like the celebrity me's of America and the box art me's of Europe. I know how many people, fictional characters, can be cringe, so I want to populate my island with official me's. Hey, everybody likes to add their own different types of me's to their island, so that's cool. And yeah, I understand it being flat is kind of boring, but with all the customization we have, I feel like, and also with the me's interacting so much with the outside world, I feel like it's just kind of the natural way for it to go. Super A Gaming 064 said, this huge amount of inclusivity will be so good, but it's a shame to not have online. I can see the immense amount of backlash happening from the lack of online that will force them to bring it back. Other than that, the huge number of customization is peak. I'm planning to mix all 4 seasons on my island. I also made a video showing my entire island residence so far. If you want to react to it, then be my guest. I'm getting both editions of the game physically. I'm so hyped for this game. That is awesome. I don't usually do much reacting content just because, I don't know, I feel like it's boring and I'm not very good at adding much into it. But hey, their channel tag is up here if you want to go and watch that. And yeah, I hope that with us all being like, Nintendo, give it to us, then we'll get an update where we get online. Sonic Pizza says, there are so many features from the previous game that I would love to see in this game. Daily donations at the fountain, rap battles, Tomodachi Quest, magic show, music hall, Judgment Bay, playing me in games against a me's taking a trip into outer space, the observation tower. I have a lot more written down, but I'll stop here. Obviously, it would be cool to see new stuff, but I do hope that Nintendo brings back the features that made the old game fun. Yeah, I'm really hoping to see all of the old features, or at least most of them return. Maybe JB28 said, I can't even think of what I want added because the game already looks so perfect. Mine is Concert Hall, but I have a feeling it will either have a different variant of some kind or it just wasn't shown yet. I'm really excited since I was younger, I never got to play the original game. My brother did have a 3DS, but he barely let me play, and also didn't have the game. So YouTube videos were my only experience until I got my own 3DS 2 years ago with Tomodachi Life. So now that I can also play the sequel, it means a lot, especially since I've been wanting a port for forever. I know some people say it's a trilogy because Tomodachi Collection, but I feel like that's separate personally. I'm so excited! I love the enthusiasm. I'm so glad you finally got to play Tomodachi Life, and pretty soon we're all gonna get to play Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. Sweet Silver 8016 says, I want to talk about kinda pre-living the dream. For me, I've never played the original Tomodachi Life, since I didn't have a 3DS when I was young. Being much older, I can buy a 3DS/2DS for relatively cheap. The main problem is that I just can't get to the game since a physical game is basically scalped here for an insane price. For reference, an average 3DS secondhand is 60 euros, and Tomodachi Life is roughly 40 euros average. And while emulating and modding is possible, I'm very afraid of messing up and downloading a virus or breaking a 3DS, so I'm actually glad the game is coming out, as now I can experience the game for myself without worry. Yeah, it is really hard to get old games nowadays. I'm so glad I kept my Tomodachi Life from back then, but I did have to buy my specialized 3DS, and I'm hoping Nintendo doesn't ever brick that for having its abilities. But there's no online anymore, so maybe that's easier. I don't know. My laptop's about to die. Oh my god. I have revived my laptop. Zerol7529 says, the game is coming out during the week of my exams, so I won't be able to play it much on day one, if at all. One thing that I still kind of want to know, maybe they already showed it and I forgot, is if we can give Mii's gifts for leveling them up, like items, phrases, clothes, and of course money for their trip to the moon. So happy this game is happening, and we'll definitely have as much fun with it as the first one, and maybe even more. Just probably not in the first few days. So sorry you've got exams. I know when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, it was March 2020 during the pandemic, and I was a manager at a grocery store with multiple roles, so I was working such long hours. Like, when I look back at the Let's Play, you could see, like, I'm barely able to play, even though literally I was obsessing over the game. I'm very grateful that this time around I will definitely be able to get lots of Tomodachi Life Living the Dream time in. And yeah, they have not shown us the actual, I mean, obviously they've shown us that there is a leveling up system, but they haven't shown us what our gifts are that we're able to give them for it, so we need to see that. MadWeG1225 says, I really hope Mii's can't change clothes on their own in this game. I hated it in the first game, and I have never seen anyone talk about it. I've had Mii's who are supposed to be character-OC who look perfect in an outfit I gave them, but they might not like said outfit and decide to wear something ridiculous like a banana costume every day, even if I kept changing them back to the outfit I want. Sure, you can just not give them outfits you don't want them wearing, but sometimes I gave my Mii an outfit I regret giving them, or it doesn't look as good as I thought it would, and there's no way to remove it from their collection after this. That is such a good point, and yeah, I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but it was so annoying when you give your Mii an outfit and you're like, oh my goodness, I actually hate this on them, or just, I don't really want them wearing this all the time, and the Mii would just change their outfits and be in such odd combos, like, cause you know, they combo the outfit and a hat, and sometimes it would be the weirdest thing. It would be nice if they didn't do that this time around, but at the same time, I kind of get it, they're just trying to be goofy. But yeah, when you have like an OC, like, I don't want my Hugh Morris to be wearing some weird outfit. I want him in his clown outfit at all times, you know? Dalton Loves Cake 2227 said, my main concern is the game won't feel as silly as the 3DS game. Everything we've seen looks so great, but I'm scared because I felt that way about New Horizons. They showed a lot so far. It's more than me being paranoid, but I really want the game to be the sequel the series deserves. Something that I think would make the game better is if we had the option to lock Mii outfits so they don't constantly change into out-of-season clothing and set outfits for different activities. Like me giving a special outfit to wear to sleep, or maybe one for swimming. I totally agree here. I totally get the concern because, well, we've waited so freaking long that it has to be perfect, you know? And yeah, being able to lock a Mii's outfit, or specifically choose ones for different scenarios, would be so helpful in this game. Really hoping for it. Thunder Rising 64 said, my My biggest question has to do with camera controls. In the original Tomodachi Life, you could look at a specific location on an island and see what's going on there. Here, it seems like we have a camera to move around, seeing that we'll be able to move Miis wherever we want and potentially force some cutscenes, like the Hugh Morris Angie scene. But then, if this is a free-moving camera, what about the cutscenes we see outside of the forced ones? Like Angie bumping into Patrick, or Mocha and the barista are karate fighting on the beach. How do we see these? How do those events trigger, and how do we see it? After all, it seems like the Miis live their own lives, moving from place to place and enjoying the island facilities you set up, whether you're watching them or not. This isn't a super important question, but I'm curious all the same. Those are great points, honestly. So the cutscene of like Angie knocking into her first crush, I feel like is when they just grab these two Miis and plop them together for them to meet the first time. That sometimes instead of the usual like introductions, they'll have a meet cute kind of introduction, you know? Maybe if like their personalities seem to match well or something of the sort. And other things like the little cutscenes of karate fighting or me breakdancing or Mii's playing at the playground, stuff like that. I think it's just the camera like moving over and you just looking at things that your Miis are doing. I feel like they'll do similar cute little things like that all the time, all over the place. So it's kind of you just always catching the fun day-to-day lives of the Miis. More special cutscenes, I think they'll be a little less like as common. I don't know. It's a good question. It's one of those things where it's like we don't really like have the feel of it truly until we get the game into our hands. Hi, I'm actually See Ya Never says, with the trailer looking like everything I ever wanted from a Tomodachi Life sequel, it has me wondering, is this it for Tomodachi Life? Obviously not, as this game will definitely be top charting game. However, I'm curious to think about its future. I don't really know how it would work, but I feel like there will definitely be DLC. Think about it, extra islands, bonus clothing, food, stuff that wasn't possible on the 3DS as far as I know. It also has me scared that they might milk the games with these DLCs, akin to The Sim, though only time will tell. P.S. I also miss the actual 3D pets you're able to have your Mii adopt. However, the drawing route could be still fun. So they haven't confirmed that they're removing 3D pets altogether, but I'm hoping that's not the case. As far as them using DLC to like milk it like The Sims, I don't see that happening, because The Sims, they do all their things, but they also make you pay for it, and that's not Nintendo's way. If they do a paid DLC, it's just gonna be a one and done, big, massive thing. We might see some small updates, small free updates throughout the life of the game, but that's not gonna be near the same. I do think this will be the best ever Tomodachi Life game thus far, and we will continue to see the series grow. Logan Miller 7827 said, something I'm curious about is what a potential Switch 2 edition would be. I really want to be able to use mouse controls for this game. To me, I see mouse controls as a perfect way to replace touchscreen, but I'm not sure that Nintendo sees it that way. I think they could also use it to make a lot of cool minigames and or dreams if they wanted. Hopefully we get better minigames with the Miis in general in this game. They could also use the microphone for certain things, and maybe even the camera, although I don't have one of those. There's a lot of other small things too I'm curious about. I want to know more about the little quirk stuff. How do we get them? How do we get them to our Miis? Just how far-ranging are they? I think I also want to know what they plan to do for updates. A lot of games get them now, but there are still some that effectively don't, such as Kirby Air Riders. Also, one question I had was that since we can customize the island so much, is that going to mean that things that refer to specific places won't be in the game? Kind of like the disguised Mii on the roof as an example. That was one of my favorites. One of my favorite Miis was inspired by that, especially because after making him, he was a frequent one asking people to go up to the roof. That's so cute, actually. I love all the curiosity here. I really do hope that they implement the mouse controls later on in a Switch 2 edition. The quirks I really want to know more for, I'm really thinking and hoping it's the case that it's a leveling up gift and that they'll be able to keep multiple quirks, like it's not just like one quirk per Mii, like they'll be able to have several. Oh, there's so much to think about with this game. Calico Law 1072 said, one thing I'm curious about, and something I don't think I've seen mentioned anywhere, is how regionality is supposed to work. Obviously, the Miis between the EU, NA-JP versions have different voices and seemingly different items available in the shops. The currencies between them are different, and in-game text and dialogue will be changed too. I don't know if Nintendo region locked their other Switch games, but will they do that for Tomodachi Life? If they region lock the physical cartridges, how will the digital release work? Will it be automatically based on the region the system's setting in your profile? And will everything just swap if you simply change it? I know for Animal Crossing, if you go to settings and change the system language, dialogue gets translated automatically. But how would that work for Tomodachi Life and the TTS? They might add access to the voice editor, but there wasn't much sign of that in the direct. What might happen is that they'll have you set your region manually some way before you can start a new save, if it isn't automatically set. Similar to the start of Animal Crossing New Horizons where you select if you're in the northern or southern hemisphere. Just something I've been thinking about since the direct that I haven't seen a lot of people mention. Yeah, unfortunately I don't know a whole lot about the regions. Nintendo doesn't seem to really do a region lock anymore, but there are some aspects that might be different, such as like you said, the prices are different. The items being different doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, because obviously you're going to get different items at different times, especially the weekly items or daily items are going to be different for every single person every single day, minus I think probably just the first day, just like with Tomodachi Life for the 3DS. So yeah, there might be some minor differences between regions, but I really feel like this time around they are really going to be just minor differences, so I wouldn't worry or stress too much about it. Absolute Banjo 4533 says, my main questions revolve around the stamp system. When the mystery bag showed a lion being pulled, we could already make the assumption that we could use those as our own pets instead of drawing them. However, my main interest is if it acts as a stamp you unlock, or only as a pet. When I think of the features like drawing your own scenes on the TV, you can use stamps for them. What about the lion from the mystery bag? Is he a stamp too? It also leads on to another question. Do treasures equate to stamps now? From the previews, you can tell that there would likely be a variety of stamps for our usage in making custom designs, but they put a lot of emphasis on the design of these stamps. Perhaps the My Treasure building has been transformed into a collection room for quirks and stamps? They are simple PNGs at the end of the day. I would think it's an easier addition or a more collectible aspect of the game. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even consider that stamp collection. Wow. Okay, I mean, if that's the case, that actually sounds pretty cool. I don't know. See, that's the thing with this new game, it's added so many new things. GamerZ504 says, okay, so I'm gonna be quick about this because, well, I want to. Anyway, let's get into it. Questions. Number 1, is the game getting a demo, and also, what would it be about? Quick wish, my most wanted wish by far. Could Nintendo add both Super Mario Galaxy and Luigi's Mansion themed cosmetics, please? Just please. Back to questions. Number 2, is Quirky Questions coming back? If not, then I'm absolutely going to riot. I love that minigame. Number 3, is DLC coming to the game? Just wondering. My wishes. Number 1, please add a movie theater. That way we can make our own movies. Short films though. Number 2, please add a school to the game, basically allowing the kid-baby me's to learn. Also, make it so that we can make our own class sessions, basically us teaching the kid-baby me's about stuff like gaming and all that. Number 3, final, custom dreams and minigames. I think it'd be cool. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for reading, and thank you for commenting. Oh, I would so love a demo, and I hope it's just the Mii Maker, honestly, or just like a little, like, you know, the first like few minutes of the game and it can be transferred into the full game once you get it. That would be cool. I also wouldn't be mad if they didn't get a demo. It just, like, at least the Mii Maker would be cool. I also really want to see Quirky Questions come back. Please, Nintendo. Look at how many people want it. I know they're worried about out of context stuff, but just do it, Nintendo. Don't worry about it. Shonieth Ashen Warrior says, my main hope for this game is the marriage thing. I hope you can tell them to go alone because I hate trying to time that when they can randomly just change instantly. They're talking about the heart minigame, proposal minigame. I'm like, literally, I have to baby you to propose. At least have the Pokeballs to do it yourself. Is my nice term for it. Oh, or just have the ability to turn off or on auto proposal. There's other hope is hope Miis can stop others from fighting too. Oh, that would be nice. Since they can cheer up other Miis, maybe we can drag one of the Miis to the Miis over to stop the argument. Because I don't want to deal with their fights, although I admit seeing an adult throw a fit like a child is so funny. I had a child Mii and an adult Mii had a fight a few days ago, and that was funny as a child Mii who was not throwing tantrums like a mature person, but the adult Mii was stomping and throwing a fit. It was so funny. I was like, dude, you're a full-grown adult, yet a child you had to fight with is so mature and not stomping. So I made the adult me apologize, and the child me didn't forgive him, and I was like, deserved. And I laughed evilly while watching him cry. Also, one more thing, hopefully we'll get 200 me's that can live on the same island. Great comment. I love it. Thank you for sharing that story. That is very funny. This is a very, very funny comment. I like it. I would love if this time around they did, like you said, an auto proposal, or basically like the same thing as when they ask the me out, where it's a chance encounter. Well, they'll either say yes, depending on their strength of their relationship, or no, and there's one less chance for somebody to try to cut in. Maddie Hunter 1336 said, I'm really wondering how kids and underage me's will work in the game. We have hard confirmation that me's can have babies, and we've seen plenty of me's running around the island in the footage that are clearly underage-children. Time to make a distinction between me's born through marriage and child me's created by the player, so I apologize if my phrasing is awkward. The Traveler feature was one of my favorite parts of the 3DS game, and if your me had a lot of babies, you could send them away so your island wouldn't get too crowded. I hope they retain the Traveler feature in some kind of form. I would be really disappointed if they cut it entirely. Even without online features, maybe you could send them away and send letters from made up places and come back to visit sometimes, and send special items. As for underage me's, the main gameplay goal was to watch your me's relationship develop, and the goal that was overwhelming majority of players worked towards was marriage and children, a feature unavailable for underage me's, which made them frankly boring gameplay-wise, and so you didn't really have a reason to make any me's under 18. I'm really hoping there are some kind of gameplay feature exclusive to underage me's, like some kind of school minigame maybe? Just something to incentivize players to have age variety on their island and make underage me's as mechanically interesting as adult me's to make up for the lack of marriage and family mechanics that adult me's have. Yeah, I do think that, like, basically all of my me's were adult me's. Minus the, like, actual babies from the marriages, like you said. It would be nice to give children me's more interactions that are specific to them. And I was just thinking about it, the city in the background, maybe we'll be able to send our child me's there? Or they really want us to keep all of our children me's. I'm not sure how they'll go about that. Ella MJ9QV said, Number 1, face paint. Can we use the face paint feature to draw eyes and mouth? And actually have them behave like eyes and mouths, like Miitopia makeup basically. I feel like despite no indication of this so far, I could still see it happening. I can imagine a screen popping up when you click on the face paint tab that asks what part of the face you want to draw on. Eyes, mouth, face, etc. Then everything drawn on the eye tab, for example, will animate and act like a me's eyes. I mean, there is even seemingly a check expression button in the face paint menu, so praying for that. Number 2, demo. Will we get a demo? I think it's pretty likely, especially considering that the Mii Maker is so extensive now, and there will be no way to use Mii's others have created now online. Sharing has been obliterated, meaning people will need to take time to make their own. So it makes sense for them to be, at the very least, access to the Mii Maker prior to release day, although it'll definitely be closer to release if it's happening. Maybe a final release trailer will drop along with the announcement of a demo. Number 3, relationships. I really hope that there's more depth to Mii relationships and interactions, like more Mii unique interactions between siblings, parents and their kids, more cute interactions between lovers, etc. In one of the trailers I saw, while the Mii's were walking around on the island, one Mii spotted another Mii nearby, an exclamation mark appeared above their head, and they happily rushed over to that Mii to talk. Obviously, they're seemingly friends with the other Mii, and we're happy to see them. It would be cute if there were more stuff like that, as well as different stuff depending on the Mii's relationship. A Mii who hates another Mii might spot their enemy on the island, look disgusted, then go the opposite direction, lol. All such great ideas. The idea of being able to specifically choose to paint on their eyes or mouth or things like that, and how they would be, animated would be so cool. Also, yeah, I definitely want to see more interaction between like different relationship levels in our Mii's. Lucy TB 4681 said, English is not my first language, so sorry if something is off. There are so many things that we don't know, like, can they sing? Is there a music hall? Is there not town hall? What is my treasures? Now that the first Mii you create is not you, like your lookalike? What are the options in the Mii creator? Like get help and create based on existing Mii. Now when a Mii wants to confess her love or move on with somebody, it appears on the screen the relationship she can have with the other Mii, and the relationship the other Miis have with her, so that's like a spoiler. You'll always know what they are going to answer. Now babies can't travel. How many days do they stay as babies? Can Mii still ask you to play with them? Are there mini games? What about events? Mii's cheating like in Tomodachi Life? I don't think so. What is happening to the fountain? And other thing. PD, I think they mean PS. I hate that they choose to name the game Tomodachi Life Living the Dream instead of Tomodachi Living the Dream. It doesn't make sense. And from now on, when you search in the internet for Tomodachi Life, only the new one will appear. That is a good point. It kind of does erase the past, but that's what happens with a lot of games. By the way, your English was really good. There were very few errors. So congrats. I don't really know any other languages. I know un poco español, lo siento. There were a lot of great questions here. And yeah, with the relationship status appearing on the screen, it is a bit of a spoiler, but at the same time, we can always go to any Miis and see on their list the relationship status. So it's basically just informing us of what we already know. Or at least what we already assume. I mean, when a Mii tells her feelings, it might be that Mii might realize in that moment, oh my goodness, I do feel like them, or something like that. You never know what could happen. Winterleaf9131 said, I am planning on making a medieval themed island where my OC Mii is the queen. Okay, pause. That is such a cool idea. Oh my goodness. Please keep us updated on that. That sounds freaking awesome. Here are some things I'm really hoping for. Number 1, family tree, or making Mii's related somehow. Number 2, accents, i.e. British, Australian. Number 3, movie theater, to make our own movie. Number 4, the return of Mii minigames, but improved. Number 5, evil Mii's - making enemy for the drama. Number 6, super long nicknames, because they got rid of the first and last name. Number 7, the ability to change what a Mii calls you, instead of leader or caretaker. Number 8, 100 Mii's or more. Number 9, music hall returning in one form or another. Number 10, a lot more drama. I love it. This is a great list. Let's hope for all of that. Walter Openen 8426 said, I have a couple of things that I would love to see, and they're quite simple too. So yeah, a thrift-vintage shop where you can find the original Tomodachi collection - life clothing and items. Just imagining it being a vintage shop is funny for me, and seeing old items as a reference - throwback would be nice. Tomodachi Life on the 3DS is vintage now. Y'all making me feel old. That game came out while I was what, 13? Crossover items - save data items for Miitopia and others. For Miitopia, the job's clothing - armor could easily be outfits. I want my Mii to have the flower, princess, and cat suits for sure. And others could be like Animal Crossing New Horizons and even Splatoon 3. Like Animal Crossing for decor, clothing, and maybe even rooms by themes like Nordic, etc. Splatoon could easily be clothing, of course, and maybe some weapons like the splatter shots, but the Miis use them as water guns to play with each other. Maybe even give us the chance to make a splatter shot and shoot ink - water at our Mii in first person. I want the cafe, and maybe restaurant even, to have more events and more stuff overall. Like, once a Mii is really sad or angry, you could give them a coffee break or a full course meal to help them feel better. Maybe once a day a random Mii makes a new recipe. Just a frying pan from Tomodachi Life, but free, and gives you a random food item for free. I would love a free roam feature for set places, like cafe and other indoor event places if possible. It seems like places like the park and fountain won't be a separate place, so some indoor areas with full control of the lookalike or caretaker would be fun to see bits and pieces. Love all these ideas. Very creative, by the way. I especially like the idea of the Mii's just making a recipe and offering us one for free. That's pretty neat. The frying pan was always one of my favorite items. Cinders310 said, will Mii's in same-sex relationships and non-binary Mii's be able to have kids? If so, will it work the same as usual, a combination of the parents' traits, or will you be forced into making the Mii? Number 2, how will married Mii's houses work? Will they just automatically become roommates? If so, what happens if both Mii's already have the max amount of roommates? Number 3, there's a little balcony on one of these houses with roommates. I specifically noticed this in the house with 2 Mii's. Will your Mii be able to go in there? And will it appear in houses with more roommates that enough empty spaces to fit it? Number 4, how will customizing houses with roommates work? Will you get to customize it fully, or will you be able to mix and match different designs for the second and third floors? Kind of like how it looks normally. And can you customize the aforementioned balcony? Number 5, can you change the elevation of the island, like in Animal Crossing New Horizons? Number 6, the none option consistently appears first in the Mii Maker. We notably haven't seen the first option for eyes. Does this mean we'll be able to make Miis with no eyes? If so, could we make a completely featureless Mii since we have already seen a none option for the rest of the facial features? Number 7, will the school or train station return? If so, will they be just for decorations as cutscenes, or will you and or your Miis be able to interact with them? Number 8, when painting on a Mii's face, can you paint on the outside of the face and create things like horns, antlers, unique ear shapes, whiskers, floating eyes, and more? Wow, lots of good questions. Number 1, I definitely think that they'll just like work the same, where they just do a combination of the traits. However, they're just gonna leave it ambiguous like before, whether it was biological or adoption. Number 3, I definitely think that this is more of like just for looks, and they probably won't interact with it. Number 6, the idea of a featureless Mii is actually hilarious. Number 8, that would be super cool, but I haven't seen anything that like shows us that we'll be able to do like 3D painting in any way. Oh, there's a tree frog on my window. Hello, little buddy. Mr. Spark X7088 said, I have a few thoughts, so I'm just going to toss them in. I love the addition of crushes and acquaintances. It just fixes the issues of the 3DS version, where there were no indication of which Mii would fall in love with one another besides having a high friendship level. And for friendships, it would just pick a random other Mii to befriend and assign them a random tier at some point in the game, which didn't really impact anything besides the chances of falling in love. So I really love the fact that this game seems to indicate that good friends could live together in a house and have their own group dynamics. It's a great choice to make it more engaging to follow. For love, I like that the crushes allowed us to see one Mii obsesses over another Mii before making a move. I do want to learn how they will manage marriage and babies though. More things I need to see are the negative emotions. I really like how depression will result in cutscenes instead of just handing items to fix a Mii. What I would like to see is an enemy system. It would be cool to see Miis not click at all and become enemies, which could result in fights, other friends potentially getting involved, and more. Fights. These could be quarrels between friends or, more commonly, enemies. Why would they fight? How would it be different for enemies if it happens, friends and romances, and how could different levels of relationships change the fight if it changes at all? Dynamics that shift in a single moment. Friendly interactions becoming romantic, fight interactions becoming friendly, you get the point. I think it would be cool to see interactions change vibes during cutscenes, like how the depressed Mii in the direct gained feelings for the Mii who helped them. More of that would make these moments a lot more varied than whether it works or not, which I am really hoping that is at least explored more in some capacity. I could think of more, but I don't want this to be too lengthy. I love all the ideas, you go so in depth into your thoughts on it. And yeah, the concept of a Mii gaining a crush and then like building up their feelings to the point they're like, alright, I have to confess my feelings, is actually really cute, as opposed to the all of a sudden they're like, I have feelings for them. It's like, oh, really? How long has that been brewing? Infinity7 says, so I have a few questions I want to ask. About the revised makeup feature, will we be able to draw on Mii's face, or can we draw over the facial features like in Miitopia? Because I want to do some interesting patterns with hair for certain characters. Will we get a layering system for the new makeup system? What will be the end goal of living the dream? When the credits roll. In the original Tomodachi collection, it was marriage. In Tomodachi Life, it was watching a baby grow up. So where do we go from there? On the topic of babies, will they be able to travel the world after growing up? If so, how will travelers work differently from Tomodachi Life? Will same-sex and non-binary couples be able to have babies? Personally, I'm leaning towards yes, because they went as far as including non-binary Miis in the first place. I noticed that you do not design familiar relationships in the Mii creation menu based on screenshots from the Japanese website. Will we at least be able to do this in another menu? Please? Speaking of which, will there be a physical town hall building to act as a menu, or is it just UI? Will the look-alike Mii still exist as the first Mii or not? What will the maximum Mii count be, and the maximum dimensions for the island? Will all the islands be flat, Or will we get an elevation tools and add hills and mountains and the like? What exactly will quirks entail? Can we please be able to adjust pronunciation for catchphrases? Will we get a demo for this game to test the waters? Will we see Metopia reference in any form in Living the Dream? Oh, so many great questions. Let's see what I haven't talked about yet. Yeah, a layering system for the makeup feature would be really nice and helpful. I think the end goal probably will be once again to have babies, since we have seen the babies will exist, you know, the whole baby growing up sequence. I think once again that will be our credit roll. And the screenshots from the Japanese website were specifically them doing local communication. So if your local communication sending Miis to someone else's island, their familial relationships would not matter. So we have not gotten any confirmation yet whether we're going to see a Mii family tree in the Mii Maker to fix certain concerns. Lookalike Miis, it looks like we no longer have that as a concept, sadly. It is sad to see that go, but to be fair, a lot of people don't want to add a Mii that's themselves in the game, and I totally get that. Oh, and Metopia referenced, I imagine both Tomodachi Life for the 3DS, maybe even Tomodachi Collection and Metopia all getting references in Dream. Like a Mii's having a dream and they're visiting the original islands and they're like, huh, this doesn't seem right. And then it's like, and they wake up. It would be cute. It would be a cute thing. All great questions. Katsy says, my main concern for the game is there is a lot more control. I was a huge Animal Crossing fan until New Horizons, where I really didn't care to decorate my island that much, and I want to just interact with the villagers, so I really hope that's not too design focused. I'm okay with interactions being forced, but I hope you can't just do it whenever, only when the game has an event or situation that prompts it, because the randomness is the best part of Tomodachi Life. I'm really sad about the lack of online play, and I was really hoping we would get to visit Friends Island. I hope that we can at least be able to scan QR codes. The game actually seems to be an open world game. I actually love that. If so, whereas with Tomodachi Life, you had to click on and enter each location, but now you can just move around whenever it appears. But I am curious how this is going to work. I'm pretty sure the concert hall is gone, which is sad because the amount of K-pop style girl groups I would make with my Miis on the original, but considering the Love Confessions removed the singing option, there might have been an issue with the AI voices. So I hope they replace this with the theater that puts on plays where you can cast roles and write, or a movie scene maker. The roommate system confuses me. Like, I get how it works, but is the purpose meant to be so we can have more islanders? At this point, I'm at least praying we can have at least 100 islanders still, and not less. But I wonder if there's going to be a point where you run out of space and need room to room Miis together in order to add more Miis. It's fun, but also tedious. And I wonder how much control we get to have who rooms with who. It might have just been for simplicity, so we didn't need to have the voice actresses narrating the direct and have themselves be physically present as a Mii, but with Angie, I must inquire if they are removing the concept of a lookalike Mii and just letting you add as many Miis as you want without having a Mii that is supposed to be you. Hugh Morris will be the guy everyone recreates on their island when the game releases, and well, that works for me. I hope if they do family trees, there is at least a system that auto-detects Miis that have the same last name and doesn't let them get together. Not perfect, but maybe an easier alternative is that you can just give all related Miis the same last name as each other, which kills realism since cousins don't have the same last name, and when a Mii gets married or one or both partners would change it IRL, but it could work. I have high hopes for this game. It seems like it is improving on the original, and I am putting my trust in developers of this game, since the original Tomodachi Life was so good, and so I am sure they are more than capable of making an even better game, and I am trusting all the chances are for the good of the game. We didn't see the proposal minigame, and if it's removed and replaced with RNG, this is already superior because the anxiety of it being in my hands to mess up is a no. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I have one more comment after this one. My tongue is getting so tied. Lots of great thoughts here. I love it. I did notice a lot of people have had trouble moving over to New Horizons just because it does feel like they focus too heavily on customization, and I do feel that as well to some extent, especially with the villagers just feeling a little more empty this time around. So that is a concern, but it really does seem like they were able to focus on both here, and especially considering the games are so different, you know? Obviously, the interactions with the Miis is a lot more important to the game. That's like the thing. I unfortunately do not not see us being able to scan QR codes as of yet. If they change it in a future update, I would love that. Also, yes, I love open world Tomodachi life. I hope it isn't an issue with them being able to use their voices to sing. They were able to do it before, so... Also, yes, I will also be adding humorous to my island. Of course, of course. I don't see them doing family trees as a system with last names because from what we have seen, it appears there is just one name for the Mii. Probably long enough for you to do both first and last name. I mean, obviously it is because Hugh Morris is 2 names, you know, first and last name. But I don't see it specifically separating the 2. It seems like it's just one name now. But a actual like Mii family tree is a possibility. They just haven't shown it to us yet, so it's still up in the air. Here we are, we have made it, the very last comment. This audio recording is over 2 hours long. This is going to be a struggle to edit. And I have to have this video up tomorrow. I wanted it up by 12. We will see if that actually happens. I've been trying to upload at 12 o'clock every single day lately. The people seem hungry for Tomodachi life, and I am happy to supply. But it is a lot. In this video itself, I'm very excited to do it. It is the longest video by far that I think I've ever done. Alright, last comment. GMoney593 says, this is kind of a weird take, so bear with me because I promise it's not as bad as it seems. Oh, what a spicy thing to end things off with. But I'm almost a little, barely any, but still a little, nervous about the amount of control that we'll have over the Miis. I feel like the biggest part of my love for the game series was the randomness, in the sense that it made the Miis feel alive. I liked how I'd make a Mii who looks like a normal person, and they'd fall in love with my joke Mii named Blinky Blanc or something stupid, and then they'd have a wonderful family. Those were the moments to me where the game really stood out, because it was so goofy but also cute to see the Miis make their own choices, forge their own stories, and I was just the man in the sky helping them along the way. Oh my god, that was so cute and poetic. I'm sorry. So I have a little bit of nervousness about how much freedom the game gives us. I don't want it to feel like I have to script all of my Mii's relationships and stories for them. I want my island to truly feel alive. But then again, I'm also being a bit of a hypocrite, because I think it's a canon event for Tomodachi Life players to have the frustration when a Mii refuses to become friends with another Mii you designated specifically for them. So all in all, I'm excited for the ability to directly make our Miis interact. I just hope this feature can be used more as a guiding hand and not like the desired way to make your Miis form bonds. I just don't want the games to feel like a game I can beat. Like, I don't want to get the temptation to randomly make all of my Mii's best friends in one evening, and then suddenly, what's left is there to do? There's no more relationships to be made. It'd be kind of sad. So anyway, sorry that was long-winded, but ultimately this concern is so small. I still wholly believe that this game will be phenomenal, and I'm excited for the new features. If anything, the direct made me feel a lot better about this concern, because it showed off a lot of features that still feel goofy and random. Like keeping the love battles when a Mii asks another Mii out, and the goofy meet-cute scenes that can occur. So this game will be great, and I'm very excited. What a beautifully written comment. Let's all get some claps in the comments. The last comment, what a most wonderful one to end it off here on. I'm sorry that we had to wait all the way to the end to see this beautiful comment. I love it. It is so well holds this tiny little concern we all feel every time something that we care about, a game we care about, gets a sequel. We always have this feeling of like, yay, we're so excited, but somewhere in our hearts we feel this. I hope that it lives up to the feelings I already have for the game series. You know, you're hoping that it's going to be exactly what you've always wanted, and that the new players will get to feel the same way you did when you played the first game of that series that you played. So this really put that into great point here. And I see the concern, but I also do feel like the way that we introduce them is kind of just like a starting point, because they just become acquaintances. They're not even like starters friends or even like slightly friendly. They're just kind of acquaintances. So we're just kind of sparking the relationship, and then we gotta like watch it and let it form. I do feel like Tomodachi Life games are meant to be enjoyed over long periods of time. I mean, you're watching your Miis grow up and live a life. Like, they form relationships, they form bonds, they go about their everyday life, they gain all of these things. they start a relationship, that relationship blossoms, and then they get married, and they have their own Mii babies, and then the Mii babies grow up, and then their children living their lives, and it's, yeah, I think any small concerns we have about the game will soon be solved when we get the game. Oh, wow. That was a lot, and it was so much fun. Thank you so very much to every single person who entered into this video. I appreciate all of you. You're all awesome. There's just 53 days left till the release of Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. Oh, guys, that was unfortunately my last community post video. I started doing these back in the very early days on my channel. Back before the release of New Horizons, when we were all excited about that. And it's bittersweet for me to say that my channel has gotten too big for it. I mean, this audio recording is over 2 hours long. So, thank you for joining me. And one last big hurrah of a community video. I hope you do keep commenting and stick around for my thoughts on our favorite games. I'm so incredibly thankful to all of you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Love you all. Bye.